It's April 12th, 1861, and the Confederate States declared war on the Union States in hope to uphold the institution for slavery. Now, this could have been a history video all in that, but we all know what happened. The Confederates lost and slavery was abolished after. Why I decided to start with the American Civil War? It's because in those years of battle, the textile mills received a huge demand for new uniforms, and they had to be produced en masse. Factories produced over millions of new garments for each and every soldier that went onto the field, and because it was a war, it had to be made to fit quickly. Designers created standard sizes, which is something that stuck around after the war ended. These are called ready-to-wear garments, where men could easily walk into a store and purchase something on the go without having to schedule millers to create a custom unique outfit. After the American Civil War ended, the demands for ready-to-wear garments rose, at first for men, then for women later in the 1880s. But that was only because a pioneer dress was really hard to make. After talking about the history, now I have to tell you why it's a good form of fashion innovation. 1. It saves time. On the surface, they are clothes that are factory-made and are sold in stores. It is their large quantities that make them a pivotal moment. From a business perspective, they make a lot of money for companies that produce the ready-to-wear clothes, and from a designer's perspective, it could be them looking at a ton of copies of the same designs that they made. Still don't get it? Well, let's say ready-to-wear clothes were never in demand after the war. You would have to go through the tedious process to hire someone to sew and create custom clothes made for you. Not to mention that we would also be behind our evolution in technologies, as the creation of factory-level goods could not have been possible without the automated machines of today. 2. They're readily available. Also, they're convenient. If you're ever walking into a clothing store, you would know the procedure. You would at least try it on before making a purchase. Or that should be the case for the most part. Granted, with COVID, doing something like this is probably not a very good idea. But thing is, tailoring for the most part is expensive. Here, it's actually affordable. This ties in with my first argument being saving time. However, this is more on how clever the service does it. You try it on, then you choose whether you want it or not. It's like food sampling. By the way, there's a difference between convenience and saving time. Convenience actually means something useful happens in something you're doing. 3. Their standard sizes are factually inclusive because there are ready-to-wear clothing for large and small, even disabled people. This goes by the sizing system thing, which goes from small, medium, large, extra large, so as you grow, you'll be able to still have access to appropriate clothing without looking like a fool. For example, overalls for an infant may have a flap at the rear end so that the infant can expel his waist. Clothing made for people in wheelchairs includes a zipper on the back and not covering the entire back because wheelchairs are chairs on wheels, and chairs have a thing where you rest your back against. So you're probably just gonna think now, wouldn't it be better if they didn't exist and that way all our clothes could be custom made and different? And while it is true that originality is better, however, it is also time consuming. Working on something original has good payoff, and don't get me wrong, but on another aspect, you have to know that there are a lot of people in this world, and it's better to just take the harmless shortcut in selling people all the clothes. Besides, people often have multiple shirts and such, so even though various people may have the same kind of clothes in their closets, they would most likely not wear the same ones in a synchronized order. Mind you, manufacturing these clothes came from factories, where people also need jobs to make the clothes. Whether the work conditions in those factories are good is another topic, so yeah, we're leaving it at that. So yeah, ready-to-wear clothing is a great innovation in the industry because it saves time, it's convenient, and it's inclusive. That's it. That's all I have to say. And here is the sources.